Compliment number 5. Mike, the fact that you're not king of the world right now brings tears to my eyes. And if that position actually existed, you'd be a shoo-in for the first/best ever. You'd be the George Washington of the entire world. I would carve your likeness into the side of the mountain, and I would call it Mount Rushmost. And when you sadly die at the ripe old age of 135, your soul will effervesce, join the ozone, and look down at us always. Too much? Butt kickers, you only have one more day, that is today, to send in your submissions to the super duper secret symbol of the League of Butt Kickery Montage on Montage Monday. Send a picture of yourself doing this, or a graphical representation of that, for all you people who are selfish about your face, to ItsTheProgram@gmail.com. Good afternoon, butt kickers. It's January 30, the 30th day of 2011, which means that 42 years ago today, the Beatles held their last public performance ever on the roof of the Apple Records building in London. It was broken up by the cops. What a terrible way to go out. As a matter of fact, if those cops came in like the middle of Hey Jude or something, and they didn't wait for the song to finish before they broke everything up, then I can surmise that the police in question were devoid of souls. Not to mention it's just Beatles music. Imagine if System of a Down or like Cannibal Corpse was performing a concert on the very same roof of the building in 1969. They'd probably send the SWAT team, or whatever the Scotland Yard equivalent of SWAT is. Speaking of policing people, how about that Egypt fiasco, eh? It's been going on since the 25th, and I haven't talked about it once. A quick overview. So basically, Egyptians woke up on the morning of the 25th and then were like, hey, wait a minute, Egypt sucks. So they started doing protests, giving street demonstrations, committing acts of civil disobedience. You know, the grab bag of things that people typically do when they find out that their current situation blows. And so, but then the Egyptian government tried to prove that they don't suck by sicking the Egyptian version of SWAT onto the protesters. And they've been quibbling ever since, you know, killing each other, injuring each other, what have you. And the rest of the world is all like, dudes. Obviously, this is a serious moment in the history of Egypt, and the rest of the world wants the two parties at hand here to handle things as non-violently as possible. Today, the U.S. Embassy issued an official advisory urging American civilians and tourists to leave Egypt as soon as possible. Okay, two things. First of all, I did not realize that Egypt was a hot tourist location. When I think of Egypt, I think of like just metric tons of sand. Secondly, why haven't the American civilians left yet? This has been going on for 5 days. You'd think they'd gotten a clue by now. Look, Egypt visitors, I realize you probably went over there when I mentioned on the 15th that their tree planting day is fixed, while our Arbor Day is variable. You thought, yeah, I want some reliability in my holidays. I'm tired of fickle America. To Egypt I go. Allow me to impress upon you this. At least we, for the most part, get along over here. Let them deal with this thing. Send them emotional support, and once it is all blown over, you can go back and enjoy your sand and non-confusing holidays all you want. Or if you prefer, think about it unselfishly. Should you really be enjoying their tourist attractions when their people are dying? Food for thought. Speaking of food, I'm hungry, so I'm going to stop this video right now. Until tomorrow, I'm Griff, and I'm still talking.